Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome students. Today we will be talking on this sustainable post-mining environmental care. In this, one of the important thing we need to know now is what the mining site is left with, that is known to you, and most of the things are waste, and then which are there things which are lying over there that may be the discarded materials and which have already served its life and it's lying over here. Basically, it may not have any economic value. Now, that's why it is a challenge that in the post-mining site, how you will be using that, and that's why today's discussion is on two concepts, basically how we can derive economic utilization and revitalize the site. Exactly, that whatever the remnants are there, that remnants will have to be used for some purposes so that the site become again a revitalized, so that it can serve the society, because our basic concern is whatever activities, it must come down to the economic benefit and the quality of life of the neighborhood. So, keeping that as a concept, then we will have to question ourselves, does post-mining site as a resource support economic activities? That means, what type of economic activities it will support will have to be seen. Now, what exactly the post-mining structures and assets we have said while discussing the demolition of mine site, discussing about the post-mining inventory, we have talked about it, but there no question is in that site what can be produced, and if we can produce something, how to produce it, and how much we will have to produce from there, or for whom we will produce. That means, so sometimes we talked of exactly deriving sand from the sandstones lying over there by for manufactured sand. We talked of getting the mine water for, that is we talked about the coal near that has been started, that by which that exactly the water can be supplied at a 4 rupees or 10 rupees a bottle of liter in the area nearby mining sites. So, that type of things, but to what extent, how long, how, that questions need to be answered, so that the efficiency, effectiveness and equity in the production business, that will have to be taken care of. So, that is why when we talk today, our discussions will be economic of mine site and then how we can revitalize. We have kept only one ambition here today, that after this class you should be able to conceptualize that sustainable development planning which we have been talking all along, and then what is there, in which way you will be doing, taking up actions for developing a sustainable mine closure plan, or alternatively we can tell it how we will be developing a sustainability planning for that region where the mining is going on, so that in the post mining period also that site remains economically vibrant. So, for that you must go through that idea of circular economy that we discussed earlier, that whatever that your extracted resources, the mining, it comes over here to the industry, either it is a fuel or raw materials, and that they undergo the manufacturing process, and in that process lot of waste get generated. Now, that one which can have a certain market, then we will have to see, that is your what type of things can be regenerated from that waste, and then what are the economic opportunities are there. Now, in the mine site, we will have to innovate things so that reuse, repair, remake that goes, and then we can give the social equity and social benefit to the people over here, so that ultimately the community will be benefited. So, this concept of circular economy, which will have to come for the economic utilization of the post mining assets. In the post mining assets, that is where we have got a good amount of waste which will be as a rocks and tailings. Then the size of the mine waste facilities, it varies according to the material. That means your how much, what is the quality of the ore, how much is the gangue coming. Depending on that gangue material, you will be having there remaining as a dump or a backfilled material, or they are having just only in a heaps of things, or in an unplanned haphazard manner they may be lying over there. Now, what can be done? Let's say if the waste rocks are there, whether we can produce aggregates for road making or foundation making purposes, can we use it? Will it be possible to develop certain materials, say for that, with those material, if other additives, other binding material can be organized, and can it be that is synthesized to another material, so that it can replace the ballast that is required in the railway. So, because for that lot of stone mining is to be carried out, lot of even many granites, sometimes rocks also, sometimes we just crush it because it is required as a ballast in the railway. So, there can some material go. It is generally more difficult to utilize the tailings, because in the tailings there will be very finer grain, fine particles will be there. From there to extract that whatever the valuable minerals left with it, that may be more scientific research is required to use or extract the valuable minerals from the tailings. Now, can that be used for other purposes? Can the tailings can be used some of the other construction activities? Maybe can we make bricks out of the materials which are lying over the tailings? Then there could be a lot of other uses, but we need to get it very well studied, so that it should not create your safety issues. Suppose you are making brick, but which are not exactly maintaining that strength, and the building you made out of it will be collapsing soon, then the life of the building will be short. Or there are maybe some things, radioactive minerals maybe get over there, then the persons living in that house may be getting exposed to the radioactivities. So that's why we'll have to properly look into this particular aspect. So, utilization of the mine waste, they will have to be under certain conditions. It will have to satisfy many things. Particularly, you want to use that site for some, we have given you some examples that how in China they have converted a old pit to a international hotel. But for that, you will have to see that geotechnically it must be stable. It should be. So, we have talked about the physical and chemical stability, but after looking into that, then this waste site can be utilized for you can get it different mineral resources. And then also, if you start using the material there, even if you are using the site for say agricultural productions, you will be improving the air quality, because with the green cover there will not be that fine particles as a suspended particulate material released from that site will be reduced. So, by whenever you will be making some productive uses of it, it will serve the community. I told you in the previous classes also how you can prepare a grazing land. If you can produce grass which quickly can grow, you cannot grow a forest over a day or a horticultural farm in a day, but you must start using it as a grassland, so that you can have, say, you can make a farm there, cattle farm, goat farm, or you can have that sheep could be. We have shown you that how in the Republic of Ireland they have developed this sheep farm over there. So, similarly, after those type of activity starts, the soil gets regenerated, soil quality improves, the land becomes suitable for other economic business like your farm and all. So these aspects will have to be looked into, and there can be number of, now you should explore depending on the characterizations of the materials there, whether they are suitable for road constructions, whether they can be used for other building materials. Can we develop some panels, that is your in the buildings, this wall panel, can we make it? Can we make some of the tiles from there? Can we exactly that, can we use the pit walls, can be stabilized properly? How the landscaping can be done over there? That even in the tailing dam, can we, if there is a sufficient amount of water is there at the top, can we make some hydroponic garden for producing vegetables? If it does not have any that is pollutant heavy metal ions are not there, then the vegetables grown over as a hydroponically, it could be done. Many of you can start even how your tomato can be grown over the tailing ponds. If it is possible, we can get economic use of it. So all that is exactly, we'll have to properly study what are the post mining remnants and how you will be revitalizing. So for that, they have in Poland there is a Revitalization Act. We may not be having that, we are having our mine closure guideline, we have got Mines Act, we have got Environmental Act and all that thing, but maybe considering the amount of area which are at present affected by mining, and in India we have got more than 28,000 mining leases, that is exact number, I may be doing some mistake, but there is a huge number, because in the unorganized sector there are a very large number of quarries and pits, and which are also under the definition of mine. So if we consider that total amount of land will be a huge, so that's why we may be requiring something like that, just like the Police Revitalization Act, we may also have some sort of statutory initiative to be taken over there. And then this whatever material is there in the post mining site will need to be looked into it very careful, because these post mining objects whatever are there, they have got different values. Now we'll have to, when we talk about the revitalizing the mine site, we'll have to assess the value of the site. That value of the site, when I am telling that whatever the railway infrastructure left to it, whatever the power infrastructure left to it, whatever the drainage infrastructure left to it, whatever the buildings, materials, broken old machines left to it, all these things as a post mining site assets is a integrated term. They may be having a cognitive value. Cognitive value is that exactly how in our our learning takes place, that is, it can be our scientific representation of it. From there certain knowledge can be generated and we can get a new concepts may be developed. It has got some didactic values, that is exactly that can be designed to aid a persons to learn. That means if we want to develop this natural resource utilization technology, resource utilization principles, philosophy, policy, act, those things will have to be developed on the basis of certain learning, and in that learning the way it can contribute, that is the didactic value of that particular place. That means if we can put the things over there, from there we can learn many things. That's why it has got a cognitive value, and from there it can be exactly, it can contribute to our future knowledge and future business, because it is the knowledge is the power to get that thing. That site may be having some what is called as a didactic value, and after that of course there could be some commercial value if we can produce something and market it, and that is what exactly as a transaction value of that site. That means whether there could be some people which will be interested to invest over there, and then certain assets of it can go undergo transactions from, there can be a supplier and buyer, and then there could be business developing over there. So when we think of valuation of the site, all these type of values will have to be taken. Now what exactly will be there that we will be valuing? that is the relics of old open cast and underground workings. Relics, that is whatever is left with there, a Kandahar, that is just like your old dilapidated king palace is also having a value like that. This mining is also, it is a place of activities where thousands of crores of rupees business had gone. So whatever is left, it is the relics of those old mines or underground mines. And then there can be a spoil banks, that is a overburden dumps, how it has then a different type of dilapidated terrain which is living. The waste dumps are there, that the old processing plants will be there. Maybe the way they were controlling water, maybe the old people, the way they were exactly making the drainage system, they were water supply system, some hydro engineering there were there, because otherwise they cannot control the mine. So in the underground mine, there were some dams, that is exactly even the way a dam was constructed underground in Sasnala mines, where there a big accident took place, but those were the technology, there were a very innovative way people handled the water problems in the underground mines. Similarly, there are some old mining technology. If you go to say Murli Colliery in Jharia coalfield, where they have got a very good pit top layout, there may be some of the things that even the tipplers, they were locally fabricated a different type of tipplers, which are today's technology and all, it may be useless. But if you think of at that time when there were no big manufacturing and all that thing, how the colliery blacksmith used to make those equipment, that is having certain value. So the different surface infrastructures, whatever were there, the way they made road, the buildings, the canteen, the workshops, these are exactly an asset of the mine site. Even the scraps which are lying over there, maybe if you take out those scraps and from there an artist can make a lot of architectural piece, and then you can create a scrap garden where the people can come with buying a ticket to see that how exactly old miners did and today what it is there. And this has been exploited. Some examples I am going to tell you, that in the Toikinjan gold mine in Japan, 2-3 places there are this type of museums are there. This was the opening of the old mine which were working in the 1900 to 1965. They have produced more than 400 tons of gold and silver from this mine, but after 1965 it got closed. That closed mine they have converted to a museum, and today people go there to see. Inside the museum they have maintained that exactly how miners in the old days they used to work, and then there you can go and have say about 300-400 meter you can travel, and you can feel even the winders and all that thing, in which way it is kept over there. It is a worth seeing place. And just outside, to encourage the people, they have kept the gold dust, and then this is all these people who visitors come, they do that is a panning, that is your hand panning. It is all mining engineers, you know that if you have studied the history of mining in Subansiri and all our river beds, this was the way how exactly in the days of our kings and in the past in India, lot of gold were excavated and mined from the Subarnarekha and other rivers by that hand panning with the sand. And this is the people can do there, and by working about 2 hours or so, they can get some of the particles of gold by this method, and they can take that as a souvenir. So such type of things are there, which already in many countries, in Japan particularly, they maintain the things in a very artistic and beautiful manner. And this place you can see these websites that you can find a lot of information on that. And if you look into in our Indian perspectives, you can see that there is a Coal Heritage Park Museum at Margherita in the northeastern coalfield of Coal India Limited. In that they created this museum in which, but the nearby, the northeast coalfield, which started in 1882, one of the oldest coalfield of the country, and there this Bargolai, that mining site, which was one of the time as a big vibrant, and the British, when they did the mining, and they made that even the Lido Club, there is a very, it is up to even the 80s, that was a vibrant that brought a heritage of the old, that is 1900 to 1920, their heritage were also there in that club, and that township was also a very beautiful township. But today's picture is, this is the all abandoned, because in the 1997 there was an accident and people died, and from then onward the mining is a discarded one, if you see there. And there is another colliery called Tipong Colliery, where in 1900 itself there were this mine locomotives were used, that coal were being carried out by this, and these are some replica of that has been made and kept in the Margarita Museum. But what we have to do a lot of things for the economic utilization of the post mining structures and assets. So we'll have to revitalize, and one of the way of revitalizing is bringing this tourism and recreational purpose, and along with that we'll have to bring today edutainment, we'll have to make the digital innovations, and there that could be a field of applications of somehow our this light and sound, that your illuminations, our and by that your another thing is the development of the entertainment world, that how we can make a different type of that entertainment piece out of it is a way how we can revitalize. Now in that we'll have to see that properly study the historical, technological, social, architectural and scientific values need to be properly evaluated. Here exactly it may, you will have to go little bit out and think little bit more artistically, as our new education policy says that science, technology, engineering and all that thing must be associated with art, so that we can go closer to the society and contribute to the sustainability. For that, the remainings, whatever the building, machinery, workshop, mills, factories, that is your different mine places, like that your warehouses, their stores, that is your what are their stock files, their transit and use energy, how their means of transportation, their infrastructure, these all whatever you are doing in a mine, and then after the mine is closed, they will have to be looked into in a different way, from a historical, from a societal, from a sociological, from that our anthropogenically how we are using it, and then it will be giving, even there are some religious cult, their education, all aspects could be revitalized. And that revitalization should be a complex process. It is not a single way and do it, this is not like that. Revitalization will have to be a multi-directional, and it will have to be complementary to each other, and that one activity will have to be that is your reinforcing other activity. So if you are having a museum, along with the museum you will have having a conference hall, so that different interest group people can come over there. You can organize there, that is your artist guild workshop to develop art pieces out of it. You can bring even the drama that or a street play people, so that they can generate idea from there for doing a street play type of things. There you can bring the historians to write down the history, and you can bring the economics to analyze that past economics and what are the potential left with. So that area will be bringing a lot of different people, and that will trigger a positive and a qualitative change in that area. That is, revitalizing in a qualitative manner is a most important thing. So that will have to bring the benefit to the local community and the economy. And for that, this territory, whichever is over there, what are their different type of stakeholders, and different stakeholders what they can derive economic benefit out of it, that will have to be there. And the local self-government, that is whether it is a panchayat, whether it is a municipality, they will have to come out with this revitalization program. And the national level, there should be statutory guideline or a mandatory act by which this revitalization process will be going over there. That social aspects exactly, that could be in a cultural directions. I am telling only about that. There could be educational directions, there could be technological directions, there is only commercial directions of that revitalizations. Now, when you are doing it a cultural directions, when you do revitalizations, then that you will have to think of preservation and popularization of objects related to the art and industrial history and historical locations. So, that's exactly that what is the geographical location of it. Now, when we are talking about the northeast, that coalfield, that at Lidu and Margarita Colliery, the high rainfall, very nice greenery, and then lot of butterflies come. So, there a butterfly park, and then if that you can get the butterfly for different fiber productions, that muga, edi, and then tossa, and for that if you can do a some of this your the textile people, they can come over there, they will become a different type of interest group, they will be having a scientific directions, they may have artistic directions. So, that your whole things exactly, whether you are giving a historical monument, you are making a cultural park, you are making your that is a different type of laboratories, or you are having a sites and museum, all these things will have to be done thinking like that. So, the revitalization will have to bring this artistic exhibitions, exhibition of the concert rooms, maybe galleries, maybe theaters, stages, cinemas, all that thing can be done. I had been telling you sometime that Mayamo Mines of Thailand. In the Mayamo Mines of Thailand, if you go, they have got a training center in which they are all 3D animated your that the hall is there, and they will be showing the whole history of how the coal is getting deposited there, to that how the coal mining is done, and also they have with a small drama as a futuristic, you can see what will happen in future, and that 3D you sit down over there, use your 3D specs and study over there and look into it. So, such type of things can come in the mining site. So, your revitalizations can be as an agriculture, forest, aquatic, natural, economic and cultural. Out of that is cultural, I have said. So, you can try in what other things can you do for it. And for that, in Poland, they have got developed a total procedure in which that your post mining site will be developed. So, which exactly starts with the concept of revitalization, then they bring the different consultations with different stakeholders and their groups, and then they take up a resolutions of what will be the revitalization part, and then that resolutions when they take, they prepare a revitalization program with the local government, with the people, with the experts and all, and once that is made, that is the project of the that your local self governments, they will be doing it over there, they will make the economic and beneficial plan, and then they will be hiring the consultant firms and all, they will make an MOU or agreement with them, and then they starts constructing over there, and they make a time schedule for this, and then adopt a revitalization program over there. Once it is done, then this what type of changes continuously going on over there, they monitor it closely, and then they establish a revitalization zone, and that revitalization zone, they make a local revitalization plan, and ultimately it becomes a economic site, a revitalized area. So, they have developed with their cultural and their social and their economic background. I am giving you this as an example. For our mind, will have to bring this type of approaches, and for that I understand you are taking up this course, that you will be the this type of consultant, this type of experts in our country in future, and for that there will be a necessary intervention on mine site methodology. With your expertise in this particular area, you will have to undertake an inventory of the industrial mine heritage. What is that industrial mine heritage is left with, and that is a first requisite you will have to do. You will have to now make out your own schedule in which way you will be making an inventory of it, and once that elements and complexes they will be finding, there you will find that which are to be protected, which will have to be given a guardianship, and then you bring a scientific rigor there in such a way that the objectivity, the coherence, the durability, accuracy, accessibility, and the information collected for that will giving you that plan. So, this you please keep it in your mind that you are going to be first in designing a mindset in this way, and for that you will have to require different information. You will have to collect the historic and archaeological studies. You will have to the location, that is what comprises, what are the mining complex is having, what are the units in it, what can you exactly, you can have a documentary heritage, that is how it has come over there, whole these things. Then the legal aspects what may come is a very, very important thing, and also that ethnographic, how the local community, in which way they will be interested and encouraged, and that study will reveal that what are the possibilities of managing the mining complex for the community, and how the community will have to own it. There exactly it will reveal a lot of things from such type of study, and then the legal protections where it will have to be given, that also will have to reveal. So, such type of study, because it does not come in any academic curriculum, it does not come many times in the business process, but it will have to be through some of the government or research agencies, this work will have to be carried out. Just to end, I give you some example that in Poland, that in a edit through which that mining was going on in 1921, today they have converted it to a museum, and then people go and see that what was there in the old time over there differently. You can see that how the conversions, the transition that has taken place. So, when we talk about the just transition, the transition will have to come over here in our sites also. This is another things you can see there. This was an edit through which that in the past 1920 mining work was going on. That same shades you can see here in those days, these are the because of the mining effects and all that thing were there, but now you can see the greenery which is over there. So, such type of things, and then in the mine sites they have got all old mining mine shape, or that your drilling rigs of how they used to do. This can become an exhibit in a place. People can come today when they will see that the drilling machines are of such a things, but how our ancestors used to do this could be giving some value. So, there is a need for mining industrial heritage conservation strategy, that is your mining industrial heritage conservation strategy in India, and for that we will have to institutionalize the things to introduce an intervention in the mine site methodology. The way we are doing work over there, it will have to be intervened scientifically, progressively, economically, culturally, artistically. And for that, the post mining utilization, it is necessary to intervene through tools like you will have to know as an academic learner, you will have to know that how industry does this thing, and you will have to know how to make master plan, how to make preliminary studies, how the viability studies, and then you will have to find out that what are how will you reveal the mining heritage. Then you will have to also develop a solid base of your knowledge, and so that your technical manageability, usability, that capability of the sites, all these things will have to be scientifically revealed. And the work of conservation and restoration of the elements of the mine must be planned considering its natural geological particularities, particularly what are the inundation conditions, whether the stability, whether it will collapse, what are the different environmental control is there, whether any pollutant or anything is going out of it, if through the edit, if some of the mine water is coming, whether this mine water is a contaminant with pollutants, those things need to be seen. And then when you allow as a museum that people will be accessing inside the mine, how much they can go with proper safety and all, that will have to be established. Now, the planning of educational communication program, and that the conceptual access and the setting of the content of the mining complex can consider different alternatives. What could be there as a mining museum? The museumization of the mines or the mining park, cultural park, heritage park, name will be depending on how you have, what is there, how you have evaluated, what the perspective future plan you have made, and then a mining heritage will come. But for that, what you will have to do is, you will have to sensitize. As today you have got that there is a concept of this revitalization of the site. So, how can you sensitize? You will have to make some excursions for the area of those type of area. You will have to make some publications, you will have to make conferences, and by that some of the academic work will have to be carried out, and then you will have to interact with the local community in those areas. If they have got a literary group, everywhere in the country you will find there are literary group, there are artist guild, there are that market committee. You will have to contact with them, you go there, make it over there, and that you will have to keep is a passion. Some of you will have to develop that passion for doing for the mine closure, and things will happen. It is going to happen definitely. So, there are references, books are there. This is a very good references. So, you go through that and try to find out in which way you can revitalize the post mining site. Thank you.